Okay, good evening everyone, and welcome to Card of the Day with myself, the Mystic Witch, or Lady Moonlight, and first day of December. So, Yuletime blessings to all my witchy sisters and pagan sisters and brothers all over the world who support me in everything that I do. We're sort of heading for Yule, which is our pagan holiday. So some call it Christmas, we call it Yule. So it's Yuletide seasons. So tomorrow I will be putting up all of our Yule decorations, including the tree and all of the lights and the baubles and the sparkle and the glam. It's one of my favourite seasons of the year or times of the year, followed closely by Samhain, because I love Samhain. I love Halloween, which we call Samhain. It's just a magical time of the year, and Yule is also a magical time of the year for us witches and pagans all over the world. So today I'm going to use my Old Faithful cards, just because I've been called to use our Old Faithful today. So I'm just going to give these a good shuffle. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Wednesday, or you've had a wonderful Wednesday. We've had a nice, quiet, relaxed Wednesday. Okay, we have just had a card fall out of the pack. So do you know what? In Mystic Witch style, if a card falls out my pack, that's the card I'm going to go with. So, what is today's card of the day? Today's card is the Two of Swords. Now, swords always represent problems and troubles of some kind, right? And depending on the number of the card, if you have a low number, those troubles and problems that you might have may amount to very little. The higher the number would represent sort of more of a difficult set of problems. So the fact that we've got the Two of Swords, and it's a female, and she's quite a young female. So maybe, Christmas is a time of giving, it's a time of love, it's a time of Thanksgiving and stuff. But for many people, it can also be a time of stress. Worrying about have we got enough money to deal with it for Christmas. Some people have very little at this time of the year. So many have lost their jobs through COVID, etc., etc. So Christmas might not be all rosy for a lot of people. And when the Two of Swords comes into the play, it often could mean arguments. And it could be an argument between yourself and somebody else, right? It could be a loved one, right? You could be falling out with somebody that is near and dear to us, right? And a lot of the times, the people that are going to sometimes hurt us the most are actually family. There's so many people that family can hurt them. You would think, well, it'd be a stranger or a distant friend or whatever that could cause hurt or pain or upset to somebody. But, sometimes it can be somebody within your own family circle, right? And that could be for many reasons. It could be that a young person's going through abuse, right? It could be that, a young person's going through difficult time, whether it's through schooling, whether it's through finding work. Maybe they're finding that the pressures of life, especially being young, is too difficult for them. and they're just reaching out, trying to find a solution to their problems, etc. It could be a number of things, right? But when the Two of Swords comes into play, it's basically saying to you, this isn't a time of upset. It's a time of, where it should be a time of peace, joy, and happiness. I feel that this card is saying there is still a little bit of murky waters, right? There's still something that you need to sort out, something that you need to face, right? And it's either stay and sort that problem out face to face, or you could simply just say, do you know what? I don't agree with what you're saying, so can we just agree to disagree and move on? It's a time of peace, love, and understanding. I don't get you, you don't get me, let's just agree to disagree and leave it at that and change the subject. Now, obviously, if they're not willing to do that, you have option number 3, where you could decide just to take yourself out of the picture altogether. Just take yourself out of that debate whatsoever, kind of thing. So if you, for example, for me, if that was me 7, 8 years ago, let's say 8 years ago, if that was me 8 years ago and I was getting that card, I'd be saying, okay, I need to leave my abusive ex. Doesn't serve me to be there, doesn't serve him, right? Or should I say it does serve him because he's the abuser, right? But it certainly doesn't serve me. Doesn't matter what I do, I'm going to be abused either way. So I can either stay and continue to be abused, or I can exit stage left and say enough's enough and I'm off, because the situation isn't going to change. And if this card resonates with you, it's telling you this is possible to resolve, but if it's not possible to resolve in a way that makes you happy, then it's time to put an end to it. It's time to just basically say enough's enough and walk out. Now that might be easier said than done, I know. There's nothing harder than walking away from abuse, for example, or walking away from somebody that we love, etc. But sometimes we need to face the hardest decisions in life to actually get a better future. And that means coming out of our comfort zone. It means taking that little bit of inner courage that we all have if we dig deep enough. But taking that little bit of courage and then taking that giant step and freeing yourself from this toxic, negative situation that you find yourself in. Christmas is a time of peace, joy and love and forgiving and receiving. But for many it can also be a time of dread. It can be a time of hardship. It can be a time where we're watching everyone else get beautiful, beautiful presents all over. And we wake up on Christmas, they wake up on Christmas morning with very little, if not anything, other than the food that they've got on their table. There are so many families at Christmas that do without. And that could be for many reasons. Loss of job, could be that they've faced themselves in a situation like this and there's just no way out other than to escape, and then they have to fork all of their finances into finding a place of safety. There are so many different situations that this card could talk about. For me personally, this hits home because of something personal in my life that's happening. Not obviously with my partner, because my partner and I have a happy, peaceful, loving relationship. But, and our own sort of life is filled with peace, love and understanding because we are a positive couple. We work with positivity. And we keep that positivity every day, which is why you'll never very rarely will you see me frowning or whatever else. Or very rarely will you see me upset, or, you know, if I'm angry, I don't show it. I just dismiss it because anger is a negative emotion, etc. Jealousy is a negative emotion. Wishing ill on somebody else is a negative emotion. So, but for me, yes, this card does relate to somebody that I know who is in an emotional situation, and I'm helping her with that the best that I can. And I know deep in my heart that there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel for her, and that she's going to find peace of mind this Yuletide. So I hope if you're going through this, or you know somebody that is going through a tough time, simply light a candle. Help out where you can. Give them advice. But most importantly, give them love and understanding. And if it's you that's causing a problem for somebody that's going, that somebody that's trying to deal with their own emotions, but then you're coming down on them like a ton of bricks, take a step back and take a place in their shoes. And even if you don't agree with them, simply agree to disagree, and give that person a little bit of breathing space and a little bit of happiness, calm and comfort at this time of the year. So it might not be the brightest card for this reading, but I'm sure for many who stumble across this reading tonight, it will have some bearing and some meaning on for them as well. If it does, please hashtag replay. Let me know where you're watching from, and let me know how this has affected you. What does this card mean for you? Does it have any relevance to you? Does it have any significance to you? Or do you find that, yes, you came to this video to watch my reading, but it didn't really have any bearing on you? I'm always loving when people give me feedback. So I'm going to wish you all a happy Wednesday, 1st of December, first day of Yule. So I wish you all peace, love and joy wherever you're watching from. Lots of love and blessings from myself, Lady Moonlight, the Mystic Witch. See you all again tomorrow for another card of the day. Till then, lots of love.